Alright, so welcome to this complete army video. We're planning to feature some of the challenge players that we have on the channel. And thinking why not let them display their armies, talk about the tactics, unit choices and so on. So this is 2,000 points of Bloodguard Space Marines. It's Michael Fry's army. He's running them as a Blood Angels Successor chapter. So using the Blood Angels Codex supplement for them. In this episode, we're going to get Michael to run through his list, give us points, values. You should see the list in the video description below, so you're welcome to copy and use that list or take elements from it. And want it to be an interactive video as well, so you can leave your own comments and suggestions about units that you would change, units that you would take out, tactics and so on. It's all open for discussion in the comments section below. Michael can see the comments and respond to you as well here as we talk about different options for this list here. But first up, for Michael, congratulations here, fantastic force. So we have featured these in a recent Challenger Scorpion battle. It may not be live yet, you can keep a lookout for it on the channel. We actually get to see this list in action to see how well it does on the battlefield. Before we get stuck in, just to mention the battle mat and terrain that we're using here as a backdrop for this one. So battle mat is from gamemat.eu, also using the Rocky base set and the Desert Rock set from gamemat.eu as well, so you can check them out for your own battle mat supplies. Pre-painted resin terrain available from them as well. Link below. There's also an 11% discount code that applies to everything across the store. They're shipping worldwide, and to mark the arrival of their brand new website, a further 5% available off of your order if it comes to over £300. So for the Blood Guard, just the theme of the army, so obviously Blood Angels, so jump packs and aggression, close combat is what Michael's gone for, and you can see it represented in the different units. But also I'm seeing the use of multiple small units, a good tactical option to go for, because you're playing, yes, to go after the opponent and to attack them, destroy the units, but also the need to pick up points for secondaries, have smaller units holding on to primaries across the board as well. And then I'm just talking here, but I've also found in 10th edition you can't just go for long combat, you need firepower support, hence some long range firepower from the back lines with the gladiators. But we'll let Michael run through his list here step by step. Anything else you want to add to my comments, or that's pretty much the theme? Yeah. Okay, first up then, surely the men in gold.
Yes, I'm playing the Liberator assault group. That's the detachment. So essentially that gives me on the charge, plus on attack, and plus 2 strength. So that's why I've got a lot of jump pack units and a lot of melee units in the army, because that's the bonus that's given to me. There's a couple of juicy strats for them, so I can give them lance on the charge or lance and lethal, but I'll be battle shocked. And there's a couple of stratagems in that detachment that mean if you take both bonuses you're battle shocked, but you can just choose one and not be battle shocked. So you can have advance and charge, or advance, shoot and charge, and then battle shock. You can do fall back, shoot, or fall back, shoot and charge, but again battle shock. So there's some good strategies in there. There's a 5+ feel no pain against mortal wounds. There's an advance and charge, like I said, and some of the wording on the strategy is quite useful. So the 5+ feel no pain, you can do after your opponent has rolled to see how many mortal wounds have been inflicted. And same with the advance and charge, so you can advance and then decide if you want to play the strat. So there's some quite useful stratagems in there. So the theme of the army is obviously to charge and get stuck into close combat, but Blood Angels, they're not that durable, so essentially I have to have small units that I can trade with, but I need to be fast and mobile at the same time and have a good sound fire base. So the fire base starts with the 2 lancers. They're absolutely brilliant, long range anti-tank. The main weapon is the laser cannon, laser destroyer. Strength 2 shots, strength 14, AP 4, D6 plus 3 damage. And the ability with that weapon is that you can reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage. So it's quite potent firepower coming through. So that's the fire base for the army.
Damage on those?
D6 plus 3
each. It's 2 shots each. Yeah, they're potent enough and very accurate firepower from those.
So I'll usually pair them up or close to one another, just to give fire support if one doesn't take out a target. I don't usually tend to split them up too far apart from one another, so one will go on the flank, one in the middle, or pair up, just depending on where the fire lanes are. And then in terms of trading units to do the initial move out into no man's land, I'm always going to be trying to target generally the 3 no man's land objectives. So the first one, I normally try and target the expansion, my opponent's expansion one objectives, so the objective closest to their deployment zone. That usually is the captain on foot with the stone guard in the Impulsor. So yes. They will, with the Impulsor, they can move out quite quickly. It's got 5 up invuln with a shield dome. It's got some survivability, and it can move up onto the opponent's objective and jump out if you need to, or survive around and then get out. And the advantage with them is that if I do survive, I can get out 3 inches, move 6. I could advance and then do advance and charge. But with the captain, the on foot one, the captain on foot is, with his enhancement, is 115 points, which is Rage Fueled Warrior. So that means that his ability, it goes really well with his abilities, and leans into the Stone Guard's abilities as well. So the main ability is Finest Hour. So once per battle at the start of the fight phase, this model can use this ability. If it does until the end of the phase, add 3 to the attacks characteristics, and it gives devastating wounds. And to him.
Yeah, so a fistful, it's a load of attacks come from him. So just to catch up on points, give us these 2.
So the Lancers
and it'll be in the video description below, but we'll call this out as we go along.
So the Lancers are 160 each.
160, yeah, 160 and 160.
Yeah.
And then this combination, you've got the captain at 115, including the enhancement.
Yep. Stone Guard are 100 points, exactly.
And the Impulsor?
And the Impulsor is 80 points.
Okay. So with this combination, I've just seen it in action, not to give too much away, but you can disembark the 3, then go 6 with your move, and then go advance with a stratagem to let you advance and charge. Yeah, so I've seen that done, so it's a really good stretch on those. The idea is you can take this, move it out into no man's land, or if the opportunity presents itself, the opponent's close enough, or they come closer during a turn, you can just get out from the transport straight away, and then you're eligible to make a charge with them. Also, these are, apart from the heavy bolter, the bolters that these have are rapid fire 1 and assault, so they can follow up with the advance and still shoot, which is very, very useful. There's something about those that's giving you mortal wounds.
Yeah, so they've got
devastating wounds.
They've got devastating wounds, and if the unit targets the oath target, you get to re-roll your wound roll, which is quite handy.
You can harvest devastating wounds, which again is very, very useful, because devastating wounds, any target can be given those wounds coming through. So what we have here then is 2 units to hold usually the back line, and then we've got 1 unit here to surge onto one of the no man's land objectives so far. So we've given you the points values, and then we'll press on to more units here.
So the next one will be the center objective that I'm going after, and usually I'll have 2 units of jump pack intercessors.
Yeah, 1 here and 1 here, 2 squads of 5.
Somewhere where I can get to the center objective, and they are my cheap trading units. They are only 90 points each, but they hold quite an impact, especially for Blood Angels. So they get impact hits when they charge, +1 attack and +2 strength. So if they do need to get stuck in, they're not too bad.
And I take it a fist on each sergeant?
Yes, with a plasma pistol.
And so they can work independently, but also combine together. And the advantage of splitting up is you've got the flexibility of 2 squads of 5. You get the 3 sergeant with the combat weapon as well. Yeah, it makes sense.
So again, small units, but cheap, 90 points. I won't miss them if they die, if I put them out there on turn 1. And then they'll be supported by the brick of Blade Guard veterans with the Judiciar. They're basically there to then move out into the middle objective turn 2 or turn 3 and take on whatever my opponent's put on there to try and deal with and hold the center objective.
Okay.
So Judiciar gives fight first for the unit. I've given him Gift of Foresight, so once per battle round I can flip a hit, wound or save to an unmodified 6. Quite handy because he's got dev wound on his melee attack.
Flip to a dev.
Yeah.
And 2 damage.
And precision as well, so any units I can target the characters with him and them as long as they're visible.
So I'm seeing an early surge of these two, and like this is like a follow-up unit, and they can camp out and sit on an objective quite happily and fight whatever's there.
They've got 4 up in Vun, but they are still toughness 4 Marines, so that you can, if they're concentrated on, they can be whittled down.
Yep.
Next up is the Brutalis. So the Brutalis will either be deployed in the middle to either go to either flank or into the middle, just depending on where he needs to go, or I can put him on to strategic reserve to come on
To flank.
Yeah. And it's just a risk that the opponent's then got to take into consideration when he comes on. Once he gets stuck into close combat, he's quite good. And his damage 3 with the main attacks can take on heavier, like if I need to take on land fortresses or anything that's really, really tough and high wound value, then he's good for that with the multi-melters.
Yep. Tank shock as well is useful.
Yeah.
Impact hits come from him also. Melter gun as well, the multi-melters as well, all very good for anti-vehicle. Points values.
So for the Brutalis,
I think he's 160.
160, yeah.
Yep.
The Blade Guard and the Judiciar. The Judiciar is 85 points with the enhancement, and then Blade Guard for 6 is 160. So they've actually come down in points, so quite handy.
Okay, so I'm seeing a mixture of units surging towards central objectives, pretty well covered now. I'm sure you haven't forgotten, but there is a unit of Death Company on the right-hand side. Okay, what are they there for?
So the Death Company is then, they work in partnership with probably the Captain with Sangri Guard.
Okay.
So, and also the Lieutenant with Combi-weapon. So the idea is that the objective closest to my deployment zone will have the Lieutenant hidden away, but close to it to either move onto it or already holding it, depending on the terrain. The Death Company can then move up on their first turn to then,
because they have scout, right?
No, they just got a very long move, so it's 12 inches on their movement. So the first turn ideally is that deployment, he's there holding it, they'll come up to support, maybe take on whatever the opponent's moved into that area. And then the Captain with Sangri Guard over there with the banner, they're then designed to follow up the Death Company after they've taken on whatever is on that objective. So if I need to deal with something that they haven't quite been able to deal with, they can come in. He's got speed of the Primarch, so he's got fights first, and they're quite deadly. And I've given them the banner, so they're +1 OC to the squad, so they can put a lot of OC down there.
So just backtrack points on those Death Company.
So the Death Company are 120 points for them.
A bit higher impact than the regular range. They've got a built-in feel no pain as well. 6 ups, a bit more durability of those. They're working in partnership with these. So we have 2 squads of Sanguinary Guard. One with a jump captain. Banner with them, we're given +1 on the OC. And then there's a second squad, but Michael's run through this one here. Fist on the captain.
Yep.
And then the blades are damage 2 with their attack, so looking at taking on usually medium and heavy infantry. Okay. And deep strike, so great back pocket reserve. Usually don't have to, but usually the captain reserve, they can drop down turn 2 onwards anywhere on the board where they're eligible to arrive, so very useful indeed. You can exploit flanks of them, drop down in the opponent's deployment zone, or reinforce your own units along their own back line and then surge and push through. And then the other favourite combination to do is to use rapid ingress to drop them in at the end of an opponent's move, and then be ready to jump out with them swiftly with the jump packs on your following turn. Points values on these?
So the captain with his enhancement is 100 points.
Yeah.
And then the Sangri Guard 110. They came down a lot in points recently.
Okay.
So handy units.
That leads us on to this combo.
Yes, so I've got the last 3 Sanguinary Guard with my Chapter Master. They are basically designed to go anywhere on the board. They will usually start on Deep Strike, but they're designed to come down where I need them on the board.
And he has a name, this guy.
Chapter Master.
Chapter
Master Aurum.
Okay, there he is. And that's a converted
Dante
model, just swapping out the axe and head
for
a spear from the Sanguinary Guard set, and the head from the Blood Angels upgrade sprue.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, nice. Nicely stands out, Mark. Glistening gold here. So points values on him?
120.
120, including the enhancement?
No, because he's a named character. He doesn't
sorry. So you're running him as Dante, same rules,
Dante,
exactly the same rules and so on, pretty much the same model,
Yeah.
Same base size and so on, so that's fine, but just a slight twist in going for this colour scheme with the Blood Guard. I think we need a points value on
So the Lieutenant is 70 points. Bare bones, no enhancements.
Yeah, useful as like a scout almost for infiltrating in, holding objectives, and so on.
And then I've got the last 2 units are just utility ones. So I've got a 5-man squad of infiltrators. They will 9 times out of 10 always just sit on the home objective, and they're useful for their 12-inch deep strike denial.
Yep.
And then the scouts. Generally, I will look at what my opponent's running. They will, if my opponent's got any vehicles or is quite fast, anything like that, they'll go towards the objective that's closer to me, where the Combi Lieutenant is, and they'll act almost like a screen. So if there's a rhino coming towards me, I'll scout. I'll deploy them because they've got infiltrate, and then I'll scout them just to block any kind of opponent coming towards me. If there's nothing like that on the board, then they're just there for utility, because at the end of my opponent's turn, I can pick them up and put them into reserve and bring it down.
Points values?
100 points for the infiltrators, and the scouts are 70 points.
Okay. And your grand total currently, because the points change.
It's spot on 2,000.
2,000, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the lists here for the Blood Guard. It's great to have a chance just to run through the list, talk about the tactics and all the reasons, the reasoning behind Michael's choices here with his units. As mentioned already, let us know in the comment section below, what units would you drop from this list? It's quite tough. What units would you add in? I could ask you the question. What's on the borderline? What are you thinking of getting?
The Death Company.
Not sure what to do with them.
I can drop them out because I could then save another 30 odd points and put in another unit of jump pack Intercessors.
Okay.
And then with the spare points, I could make some changes. Maybe add a banner to the Blade Guard that gives them +1 OC, or a banner to them to give them +1 OC. So if they manage to break through onto an enemy objective, there's suddenly a lot of OC on there. Maybe the Brutalis Dreadnought, I'm swapping him out for the Death Company one, just because he's got the surge move. So if he gets shot, he can move towards the closest enemy.
Okay.
I have thought about maybe dropping the Brutalis and putting the Sanguinor in. He is 20 points cheaper than the Dreadnought, so it could give me some more points to play with, and he gives that versatility of being able to come down into engagement range when an enemy unit charges one of mine.
Okay. Alright, so that's the list here. It's great to see them on the channel, and as said, a chance just to go through the list and hear the tactics behind them. So if you like this series and you want to see more visiting armies on the channel, do leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Don't forget the terrain here from GameMat.eu, link for them below. Make use of those discount codes that are available from them as well. But the Blood Guard here, 2,000 points. Big congratulations to Michael Fryer here for this collection, and you can look forward to seeing them on the channel in a battle report coming soon. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time.